Thank you, Jaleesa. I did it again. It's on, all right. Please welcome to the podium our ABSN student speaker, Erica Weiss.
I've waited a long time to say that, longer than most people in this room, and honestly longer than I expected. So when this cohort selected me to speak, today, I was really touched because this cohort is without question the most amazing group of people that I have ever had the privilege of trauma bonding with. And they had choices. So being trusted by them to do this is something that I will carry for a very long time. So thank you. When I was growing up, we had the World Book Encyclopedia. You can all ask your parents after this. And I was obsessed with volume H. And the human body section had these acetate pages, and they were layered one on top of the next, where you could peel back the inner workings of each system. So you would peel back the skin, and then the muscle, and the organs, and it showed how everything fit together and worked together, just so that we can simply exist. And I was fascinated that this was going on in all of us, all the time without us being aware. And I wanted to understand exactly how it worked. So naturally, I went to law school. I became a lawyer, and I spent the best part of 2 decades being very good at something that had nothing to do with understanding the human body. It was fine. I have no regrets about that chapter, but here's the thing, and maybe some of you know exactly what I mean. There's a particular experience that comes with being genuinely good at something, being expert in the room, and then choosing to walk away from it and starting over. Not because you failed, but because something else was calling. So about 3 years ago, I finally answered and went back to school. I expected it to be hard. I expected to be the oldest person in the room, which I was, and for the record, which none of you ever made me feel like. I expected to have to work harder and be more tired than everyone else. But what I did not fully anticipate was how humbling that would be. When you're used to being the expert, becoming a beginner is genuinely uncomfortable. I lost the shorthand, I lost the confidence that comes from years of experience. In my place. I had to ask questions I felt like I should already know the answers to, and I had to sit with not knowing and keep going anyway. Every person in our cohort did that. Some of you came straight from undergrad and chose something hard before you even had the chance to choose something easy. Some of you left careers, relationships, more comfortable versions of yourself because you wanted something that meant more. And all of us walked into a program that had us in clinical about a week after we started, which was either very inspired or a moderate form of hazing. A year later, and I'm still not entirely sure which. We logged into different portals and resources and regularly navigated about a dozen online platforms that did not speak to each other. And we were told, good luck, and we figured it out, because that's who this cohort is. There's a song from Ren, you can also ask your parents, called Seasons of Love, that asks how you measure a year, 525,600 minutes. But then it asks the harder question, not how long the year was, but what it was actually made of. How do you measure a year? How do you measure a year in the life? While we can measure this year in clinical hours or pages read or exams taken, because there were plenty, I measure it in the group chat, where we sent assignment calendars, study outlines, and very timely notifications when grades went up. I measure it in shared Google Docs, shared frustrations, and shared quickly logins. I measure it in Bobo's Coffee, Endless Celsius, and call out the sense of humor of this cohort because it was everything. It held us up on the days when nothing did. And I feel bad for those who didn't get to know us, those who didn't really understand us, because we are truly something special. But what I will remember most is that a group of people who were exhausted and overscheduled and under pressure chose consistently to be generous, to share everything, to compete with no one. I've been in professional environments for many years, and that kind of culture doesn't happen by accident. We built it, we maintained it, and we did it in less than a year. And that made all the difference. Not long ago, a classmate, who I love and admire, told me he was grateful that our paths had crossed. And we both said, but for this program, we never would have met. And he's right. It's not fate or destiny, just the fact that circumstances of this particular year put us in the same room. And something very real came from that. Everyone in this cohort knows what this year took out of the person sitting next to them because it took the same thing out of all of us, and that bond lasts. There are also many people in this room who made this possible and deserve to be acknowledged. Our faculty built this program and somehow kept it running at a pace that should not have been survivable. They pushed us when we needed it, answered questions at unreasonable hours, and looked at us in our most overwhelmed moments and said, with the patience of people who knew, we were going to be fine. Thank you for your faith in us. And to our families and our friends, the partners, the parents, the roommates, and the children, especially mine, who learned to read the room on exam weeks, which was every week. These were the people who managed our lives when we were otherwise occupied, which was most of the time. And we did not do this alone, and we know it, and we are grateful. So what's next? Someone once told me that a nursing degree is the Lego brick of careers. You can build anything you want with it. I've thought about that a lot this year because I think it gets at something true about why we chose to do this in the first place. Some of us came because nursing is a calling, something that pulled at us for years until we finally answered. Some came because nursing is a pathway. It's stable, profitable, and built on work that actually matters. And some of us came for both reasons at different times in our lives, and all of that is valid. What unites everyone in this room is that we chose something hard on purpose, and we cared enough to see it through, and that is exactly the kind of people this profession needs. And I want to say this to my cohort directly. The world you are walking into is so lucky to be getting you. You are smart, and you are kind, and you are funny in exactly the ways that make hard things survivable. You have decades ahead of you, decades of patients who will be better for having had you in the room, and colleagues who will be honored to work beside you. And I sincerely hope I get to be one of them. The impact that you are going to have on this profession is something that I cannot wait to watch. And for what it's worth, I have decades ahead of me too. Maybe not as many as the rest of you, but I intend to